Hey guys, so as you can see, I've only got some of my makeup on already, and the reason is that I wanted to do a first impressions. Now I'm going to be using the Rimmel Lasting Finish Foundation. This one is apparently a new formula and it claims to be 25-hour wearing and it's skin perfecting. Now this does come in the medium coverage and the full coverage one. The full coverage, I just didn't want full coverage, so I went the medium coverage one. But this particular one here is actually supposed to be moisturizing. So I'm going to see how it goes with my oily skin, but we're coming into the winter months here in Australia, so I thought it would be really good through winter, just so it doesn't dry out my face. But underneath that, I'm going to be putting the Lasting Finish Primer. So this is also skin perfecting to go with the whole range. And the third item is the reason I picked all of them up. This is new, it's the Lasting Finish Powder. So they all claim to be 25-hour wear. And this little powder is really good because it's got like a little sponge and a mirror underneath here, which is really good for taking with you when you need to. So I'm going to be trying all of those right now. I'm going to jump straight into it because I don't want this video to be too long. So this is what the primer looks like just on here. So it's quite light texture. I think I've got way too much on my hand. I'm just going to press this all over my face. It actually feels really nice, and already I can feel that it's smoothing out my skin. It feels really silky. Really concentrating on my T-zone where I've got larger pores and where I get the most oiliness. And just gently pressing that in and spreading it out. Okay, so the primer is on and my skin does feel really nice. It doesn't feel sticky. It looks quite nice. It has like a bit of a sheen to it, but I think it's really just flattering. And yeah, so I'm just gonna go straight in with the foundation, and I'm going to be applying that with the Sephora Pro foundation brush, I think this is called. Flawless Airbrush. So I really like this one. I use this mainly for all of my foundations. So I'm just going to use it with this one. Going to, oh, there's a bit of tape on there for some reason. Give it a bit of a shake. And so I'm gonna go 2 pumps, and I think it might be a little too much. Not getting the amount right here, am I? My hair's getting in the way. All right, so I'm just gonna dot this on my face. One thing that drew me to this foundation was that it's got the pink undertones, and I'm hoping it stays that way because they're the sort of undertones that I have in my skin, and I find it very hard to find a drugstore foundation that suits that. So fingers crossed it doesn't oxidize. So that's one half of my face done. As you can see, it has got a pretty good coverage on it, but not too heavy. And you can still sort of see a few things coming through, but I don't mind that. I like it to just look really natural. It has a really nice finish to it as well. All right, so I'm just gonna finish off the rest of my face and I will be right back. Okay, so that is the foundation on. I did end up using the full 2 pumps, and so far I really like it. It doesn't look too heavy. It looks pretty natural, I think. And I definitely think it's a sort of foundation that you can really sheer out if you don't want that really heavy full coverage. But you can also build up as well. And I'm really liking the finish. It's a bit of a satiny feel. It's a little sticky, but I've only just finished putting it on, so hopefully it will set. But apart from that, the color match is awesome, which I really like. Blended super easily, and it just it does exactly what a foundation should do. Just makes everything nice and even and just makes you look really healthy and even toned. So I'm just going to finish off with the powder now. I'm going to just use that with a Sephora powder brush. I'm a bit excited to use this one because I'm really picky with my powders, so I'm hoping that this will be really good. So I'm just going to dab that. So I've just done the center of my face there, so I'm just going to finish the rest of my face with concealer under my eyes so that I can set it with the same powder. So I will be right back. Okay, so I've put the concealer on. I'm just going to set it with a little bit of powder and hope it doesn't go too cakey. I've just got a mirror here, which is why I'm looking down here. Now this powder has actually got a little bit of color in it, which is good, and it really does mattify the whole skin. So if you're not one to really want to use a full mattifying powder, I reckon you could actually use this foundation just on its own. But I am going to mattify because I want to see the full 25-hour claims that they have on this foundation. Okay, so that's the powder on over my whole face. I'm actually really liking it. I think it still looks natural. You can tell that you are wearing makeup. Definitely does mattify the whole face. And I'm really looking forward to seeing how it goes through the day, because all these products are claiming to be 25-hour. Then I'm really going to put them to the test, and yes, I will be checking in with you during the day. So I'm just going to be finishing off the rest of my makeup, and you'll see the finished look in a second. Okay, so that is my whole face of makeup all done. I am very impressed with how everything looks on my face. Everything's working really well together. I really like that these products are all designed to work together and just prolong the life of your makeup. As for the perfecting part, I think it looks pretty good. Like, I can't really see my pores. And one thing I was really surprised at is normally my nose I get a lot of redness and I have to use concealer to cover that up. But I haven't done that today. I think it looks pretty good just with the foundation and then the powder over top. So I'm just going to wear this for the entire day. I'm going to check in for a couple of times. So I've got to do some things this morning and then go to work. I'll check in with you when I get home, and then I'll check in with you later tonight. So at the moment it is 9:22, so I won't be wearing this foundation for 25 hours straight because I don't know anyone who would ever need to do that. So I'm just going to wear it for as long as I need to, but try and go really late, and fingers crossed it lasts for that whole time. Hey guys, it is later in the afternoon. It's actually 3:42 to be exact, and I've just gotten home from work and gotten myself changed, and the only thing I've touched up is my lips. And this is what my makeup looks like for now. It did really well today. It got really hot. I was at work, so I was sweating a little bit, doing some hard work. And I think it's lasted really well. There's a little bit of shine through my T-zone, which I'm gonna get regardless because of my skin type. The only thing I would say is that there's a bit of dryness, like it seems to cling to blemishes that are sort of healing and are nearly at that gone stage, and any couple of dry patches I have on my face, it's clinging a little bit. So I'm just going to use the powder just to touch up, because I just want to see if it's going to be one of those powders that is cakey when you're touching up, because I've already got the foundation on and I powdered this morning, and now I'm going to powder again. So I'm just going to do it through my T-zone, and then we shall have a look. This is a really light powder too, which I'm liking. I did notice a little coverage lost off my nose, but I think it's because I blew my nose a couple of times today. So that actually looks quite nice with the touch up. So you just need a little bit of the powder. I'm just going to leave the rest of my face as is because it's still pretty good, and I like that sort of sheen. It just makes the foundation look a little more natural. When this foundation sort of was on my face and I warmed up a little bit, it really settled onto my skin nicely and looked really natural. It doesn't look cakey at all, and my pores are really minimized, which is one of the claims of all the products that I use. They were skin perfecting. And one thing that I did really like is that it didn't oxidize, so it's still exactly the same color as what it was when I put it on this morning, and even when putting the powder over top, it didn't change the color either. So it stayed the same, which is really exciting for a drugstore foundation, because normally they go either too yellow or too orange, but this one's quite pink toned, so as you can see in the bottle. I forgot to mention before that I was the color 010 Light Porcelain. So if you're as pale as me, definitely go this one. And yeah, just really loving it at the moment. I'm going to do one more check-in later tonight, so I will see you then. Hey guys, so welcome to the most boring background ever. I'm at a friend's place for a housewarming, so I apologize if you can hear noise in the background. But I just want to do one final check-in for the night of my first impressions review. It is 6:30, so I've had this foundation on for about 9 hours. I wanted to go later, but I just want to have a good night with my friends. So I just want to do one final check-in. So as you can see, I am a little shiny, but it's not too bad. The lighting's probably not helping it all that much with the reflection, but I really like it. The foundation is still in place, still has really good coverage, really nice finish, and I'm just really enjoying it. It doesn't feel heavy. It's sort of moving around, like not moving around, but it sort of just looks good on my skin. And now that it's like sunk in and really nice and just meshed with my skin, I guess. So with the primer, it's skin perfecting and increases foundation wear for up to 8 hours. So I really did like the texture of this. It was really light and smooth, and I really feel like it did perfect my skin. And it has made my foundation last, especially the sort of day I've had. It's been a long day, I've been at work, and it's really helped the foundation stay on. For the foundation, I really, really like it. Super easy to blend, it's skin perfecting, medium coverage, but I feel you could build that or lighten it as well, depending on what you prefer. SPF 20, which is awesome, so always good when you're outside. Just a really good, easy to blend, easy to use foundation. You can just sort of put it on with your fingers. I mean, I used a brush, but I think you could use your fingers or even a blender of some form. Really good, awesome price as well for 30 mils. And just awesome, like really good everyday foundation, I think. And lastly, the powder. This powder is really good. Like, this is the newest product and it's 25 hour, and I just really like that you can touch up the foundation without it looking cakey. I love that it has the mirror underneath. I never really use these sponge applicators. The packaging itself is a little bulky, but it's not too bad. And it's just really nice and light, easy to touch up. It does have a bit of color to it, but it doesn't change the color of the foundation or make your foundation look heavy. And then when you're touching up, if some of your foundation has rubbed off or moved around, this really sets it back in place and adds that little bit of color where it may have been lost. So all in all, I really do like the Rimmel Lasting Finish line. If you do want to try a really good drugstore foundation that will last you all day through all sorts of situations, I definitely recommend giving this a go. Alright guys, so that is the end of today's video. I hope you'll have a wonderful day. Be beautiful, and I will see you next time. Bye!